Are we live? I'll just wait for people to come in before I start. So I wanted to talk about something that just happened. I wanted to talk about what is going on in the yoga world and spiritual world and everything that's been going on for a long time, years. I've been taught by the greatest teachers, um, ever walked on this planet. Great, phenomenal people, masters, true masters, not people who say they're masters, masters. And I've been energetically activated by them through a process that is called Shaktipat. When a master facilitates Shaktipat, and they activate the dead DNA that science says is garbage. Of course they're gonna say that they don't want you to be alive. And I'm very grateful for all the experiences that I've had with every teacher that I've ever met, every individual that ever taught me, any experience I ever had on this planet. And today, today was something. I spoke to a lady that I met at a yoga studio that I was working at, and she wanted, I gave a lecture, I gave her a spiritual experience, and she had a phenomenal time. She kept coming to my classes. She's like, "Wow, you're really the real deal," as she called me. And then, I had her listen to my music, and my music is not, it's not meant to make you feel happy. My music is not meant to give you happy thoughts. As a matter of fact, I didn't think happy thoughts. And thinking positive is like the worst thing you can do in any spiritual realm. And I know that might sound oxymoronic, but the truth is that is the lie that people are being fed. And people are spending money and hours of their time being fed this lie. Inside they're still gripping with traumas, being sexually abused. Inside they're still insecure. Inside they still have all these problems. It doesn't go away thinking happy. The happy thought is a delineation. The problem is still inside. So there has to be, the new spiritual word. I'm the most non-trendy person, the most non-trendy teacher you're ever going to meet on this planet. I hate using trendy words. I hate dressing trendy. I hate fooling people. I don't like to lie to people. Never, ever. Everything's raw, straight to the point. When you do a regression with me, you're going to go through emotional hell. You're going to rip out the trauma that's inside of you, and you're going to feel good. Because that's what you need. You don't need me to tell you how happy your life is. You don't need me to tell you how happy everything will be, and think positive and look forward to things, because that's bullshit. That's not how it works. That's not spirituality. Anybody that goes deep into spiritual work, whether it's shamanism, they call it the Red Road, whether it is tantric spirituality, anything, you can call it whatever you want. These are just names. Even Christianity, if you do Christianity in a regressive form, you're doing the work. Islam, doesn't matter. These are just names for the same work. The human being has to be emotionally and hypnotically regressed in order to get them out of their situation, which is all psychological and subconscious. And it's trauma, right? Happy thoughts are not going to get rid of the trauma that's inside of you. Happy thoughts are like using drugs. You're patching out that which is inside of you, which needs to be released. The more you patch, the more it becomes like a cancer. Literally, it becomes like a cancer sitting in there, right? And it becomes there and just stays there. And you look good. You go to the gym, and going to the gym is not a regressive spiritual work. You're not gonna release anything in the gym. Anything that you do in the gym, it just gets recycled. There's no emotion unless you're crying your ass out in the gym in front of everybody and throwing yourself on the ground because of your trauma. You're not doing anything. At most, you're working out. That's great. Thank you. But the trauma is still inside of you, right? It's not going anywhere. It has to be hypnotically regressed out of you, right? So today, I was supposed to do an interview with this lady, and she listened to my music, which is done in a very specific way, because I was trained in a specific way to use music and sound to regress you. Even when you listen to my music, I'm regressing you. I'm like the trauma terrorist. I terrorize the trauma out of you. As it came in, it has to come out. There's no, I was sexually abused by my uncle at 12 years old, and my nervous system is thrown off, and then I'm going to go pick some flowers and think happy thoughts and think that it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's going to stay in the body as a disruption. The neurological system will remain with the memory on a cellular level of the trauma that you acquired from being raped by your uncle, the person, or whatever, or the manipulative mother that you had who tried to turn you into her goddamn security blanket as a husband in the future, or Oedipus complex and the Electra complex are all very true in the spiritual work. Before they coined that, it's been in existence, right? This is the human condition. So I got told today that she does not want to move forward with the interview because she didn't think my music was so intense. Because it was, and I was like, well, how did you feel? She's like, oh, it brought up all these emotions. I was like, then it worked. Then my music worked. Thinking positive and feeling good is a lie. It will get you a lot of different things in this life. But if the trauma is not released out of your body, you're not doing any work. Nothing. You're not doing anything. All you're doing is lying to yourself. Positive thinking and gaining wealth and gaining stuff isn't doing anything for you if you have trauma, emotional trauma in your body that needs to be released. And the only way that emotional trauma is released out of you is by you not being prepared for it to happen. If you are prepared for a hypnotist or a trauma regressor through Reiki or anybody, if you're prepared for that to happen before it happens, you already have a wall for it to happen. The conscious mind, as they call it in hypnosis, or in anything has to do with psychology, the conscious mind is already prepared because you've been protecting yourself from being, going into these realms. So anybody who's a true healer will sideswipe you when you're not even looking, because that's the only way that you can trick the mind. The mind has to be beat up energetically. It's the only thing that should be enslaved is your mind. Now, there's two forms of slavery. There's the slavery of unconsciousness and ignorance, and then there's the slavery where you have complete control of it and you direct it to what to do, not it directing you. One will enslave the other. There's no other way. One will enslave the other. The enslavement becomes a harmonious interaction with each other, right? When you regress and you respect each other. You got to see the mind as an external entity from you, right? You cannot sit there, right, and treat the mind like it's a little puppy. And the personality is another lie. So look, I'm ripping your mind off. I'm ripping your personality. Now what do you have? You have no more ammunition. You can't sit there with your little smiles anymore. That's what I do. I rip you apart. I take away your lies. I take away everything. Right? This work is not easy. This work is not easy whatsoever. And I am sick and tired, as a teacher, as a medium, as a healer, to see the charlatans on my Facebook page. All these people that claim to be mediums. And when I ask spirit, they don't even know what they're talking about. When all these people think healers are healing, all they do is taking your money. They take your goddamn money, and you are not healed. There was a place I was working at, and I'm gonna say the name, the Aquarian Yoga Studio, right, in Westfield, New Jersey. They brought a person to do astral travel workshop, right? This person was giving the crowd, they charged these people money, shitload of money, and all he did was talk about his experience, but he couldn't give people a practical experience on astral travel. What is that? You could do that on YouTube. And then when I brought it up to the owner, she's like, "Oh, they just talked about it." I was like, "So then it was a lecture series?" No, they just talked about it. Okay, so it wasn't a lecture series. There was no practical work. There was no actual anything. And you charge these people and you fool them to go into this class to pay you money to listen to this guy talk about astral travel and his experience. That's the bullshit that's going on right now. And it keeps people in fluffy spirituality, mental delusion. Oh, I want to go into, I want to do this, and I want to astral travel, and they talk about all this bullshit. Fuck crystals. Fuck all that shit. If it's not regressing your emotional trauma, it's bullshit. It's not doing anything for you. They're lying to you, they're taking your money, and making a shitload of money with it. I don't do that. So, I don't work at that place anymore. I was too real, I sit in front of my classes. I will tell you all what I do. When I sit in front of my classes, I'm a very powerful person. I sit in front of my classes and I energetically suck the trauma out of you in front of class. So people cry in my classes. People go through stuff. I have a power of doing that. Never said it on camera, but I don't care. I do that. So people go through stuff in my class. That's what it's about. And I do this with love and compassion, but not the love that you people talk about. It's not real. Love is a state, not an emotion. You can't sit in front of them because eventually two things happen. They're going to go through the lie, and then eventually they're going to feel the lie, right? And then they have no other option but to either accept the lie or leave. A lot of people accept lie. And a lot of other people leave and they move to finally find a good teacher. It's just very annoying, The work I do is very deep. And, it's just, I just got triggered today. And there's nothing wrong with being triggered. People think that a yogi or a spiritual person, or mediums or all this stuff, you're not supposed to be emotional. You're not supposed to feel. What, am I a robot? Am I dead ham? That's not how it works, My consciousness moves faster than most people. My energetic abilities in my hands are very powerful. I'll suck the trauma out of you with my hands. High frequency Reiki, right? I can read you. And I know, but not because I want to read you so I can feel good about myself, so that I know there's an analysis so that I'm told this person needs this, do this. This person needs this, do this. Okay, what does this person need? This, and then do this. And then I do it. And the way that it works with me, some people don't go through anything in my sessions. The after effect, they go through 2 weeks of emotional craziness. Purging, I hate that word. Anything that's commercial, I hate it. So anything that, releasing emotional stuff, 2 weeks later, they're still going. That's a true healing session. It's not about, I'm going to sit here and just, it's just a lot of lies. It's annoying. It's really annoying. And a lot of you on my Facebook page are liars, charlatans, who just read books. And I'm not trying to put my foot on your neck or anything like that either, but come on. The human experience needs truth. All types of truth. Harsh, love, whatever. As long as it's truth, people respect you more that way. Don't lie to people. Don't fool people. I go through my own things. I'm not the richest man in the world, but I have a purpose. And I know what I do. And I'm guided by divine. I'm divinely guided. And a lot of people who knew me when I was young, they're like, what the hell happened to this guy? They don't get it. I don't care. I know who I am. I do. So I'm trying to show you what I found. And what I found is no joke. And it grows, consistently growing. It won't stop. It's fire. It's good fire. There's a lot of misconceptions. People see me and they see I'm very intense, and then I'll switch in a second. So the consciousness is moving. Consciousness doesn't remain. It's energy. Energy doesn't remain. We're not supposed to act like everybody else. We're not supposed to sound like everybody else. We're supposed to be intricate beings because we are intricate beings. We have the ability to discern beyond our perception in order to move into other realms of consciousness within ourselves, other dimensional realms that most people don't exist because you're one-dimensional. Everybody, all they want is money, sex, and all these things. Where is your consciousness? Where is your awareness you seeking, right? Those are the questions you gotta ask. Are you being authentic? Are you lying to yourself and other people? Are you manipulating other people? At what cost? There's always a cost. You can't escape karma. Nobody can. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your organization is. I don't care what manipulative practices you do. Eventually, it will follow you. So I warn you, all you happy, spiritual, smiley people, it's going to catch up. It's going to catch up. It's not about being happy. It's about being real and grounded in awareness. You don't need to show your teeth, and you don't need to be violent either or aggressive. It's about being yourself. Not what looks good to sell your ass. There's no difference between false spirituality and prostitution. There's not. There's so many things that I do for people. So many things. Mind-blowing. Things that you wouldn't even believe because every human being needs a different experience. I'll give you an example of one of my old teachers, what he did. So you could see how it works. There was a guy we used to, was affiliated with the whole crew that we were with. And the teacher was a red tantric teacher. Now this individual had a problem with women. He had a lot of mommy issues. Deep mother issues. So he had a fear of the energy, right? He was like almost 30, still a virgin. It was ridiculous, right? So, no, I will not speak about the damn Kundalini snake. To hell with it. The person needed to regress this mommy issue. You know how he did it? Well, in one way. One of his experience was with this teacher was he brought him to a strip club. And he's a very powerful teacher. Very powerful. Stories are amazing that I have. My experience with him. And he energetically held a space where all the women in the strip club flocked to the area because they felt they responded to the energy. And they started caressing the guy, whatever the hell, His trauma was put in his face. He was afraid of the woman. He had an anxiety attack because he didn't know what to do. That anxiety is the anxiety he felt when he was a boy, when his mother energetically abandoned him. And there was no other way for him to release that trauma other than being in a situation that made him uncomfortable. Now, for another person in the teaching at the time, they didn't need that. something else, because that's not going to work. You get it? Morality is fake. Truth is real. Morality is filled with guilt, which is a projection. We give somebody truth without projection. It's truth. And sometimes there needs to be a projection. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need harsh truth beyond measure, because the mind needs to be dismantled. The personality needs to be dismantled. Your defense mechanisms need to be dismantled. And at that point, in the moment of dismantling, there's a space, right? Awareness and unconsciousness. And any true healer grabs that space and shakes you up. And then there's a regression. And then whatever is pent up in you and whatever is there will come out in that moment. A lot of people don't want to hear this. Because they're making a lot of money off people lying to them, fooling them into bullshit. Conscious speaking, all this bullshit. And they have like a whole they have all these courses on how to speak spiritual. How do you speak spiritual? There is no such thing. Yes, you become aware of certain things that you say to people. Yes, you become considerate in the energy, not your morality. Morality is all guilt-based. It's just like religion. As a matter of fact, all religion is based on morality. It's fake. Take the properties of morality, as we know them, all these rules, right? And then find them, when you get to that point, in your consciousness, in the esoteric rules that are up there in the energy, which exist in life. There's a difference. They look the same, but they're not. Then you'll see the difference. This is how mediums work. Or medium. Even that word is stupid. So what? I can talk to the divine and get an answer. I can find out whatever I want. I can do that. Who cares? That doesn't mean anything. I'm not better than you. I don't walk around like a zombie, They do that too. It's all a hoax. Now, that doesn't mean that you can compare a person who's high frequency with a low frequency, because that's another lie too. The dehumanizing of the teacher or the healer or whatever. That's another form of manipulation. It's all very tricky. And because it's all very tricky and confusing is why they make it so linear. They bullshit you with linear bullshit. The only time spiritual work becomes linear is when you figure it out on your own. When you get it. When there's a click. When the work, the true work, happens inside of you and you start to understand it. Before that, you're just monkey see, monkey do. You copy words, copy things, you copy marketing strategies. You give lectures, you say the same things. You go do retreats in what's the name of these places? I don't know, around the world in these tropical places, and you talk about this stuff. And you're lying. You charge thousands of dollars. You're not really there. It's just you charlatans. The words, the tantric experience of this and this and that, and then it's gathering people. I hope you really understand what I'm saying. If you guys don't, message on the bottom something, But I'm saying very deep. I'm saying it very simple, but it's very deep. Very deep. I'm Dominican and Chinese, right? So I know, I've been studying my history since I was really young, right? I know my history because my abilities, I can go back into see who I am in different lifetimes and all that stuff. Who cares? But I could do it, right? Who cares, right? So I found out, that I'm Mandingo African, Arawak Indian, and I have Chinese in me, and I'm Spaniard by, European conquest and pillage, and that makes me who I am. So I'm Dominican and Chinese, right? That doesn't mean anything. I understand that struggle. I understand the struggle of me as all this. So I accept my African roots. I accept the stuff. I'm not identified by any of that because I'm more than that. But I understand that struggle, and if I have to fight for it, I will too. But that's another lie, you know. Another lie. I'm just like, I'm opposed to falsehood and lies and fluffy spirituality and anything that has to do with being fluffy, you know. In the 90s, we grew up saying, keep it real, and I really took that to heart, you know. Keep it real. Don't lie. Don't fool people. If you don't understand something, don't act. Say, I don't understand that. I can't comment on that. Don't regurgitate what you read. If it doesn't come to you in a download, in the esoteric, in your consciousness, don't regurgitate these books. It'll hurt you in the end. You look good now, but it's going to hurt you in the end because you're not going to get anywhere. Your consciousness isn't going to expand magically out of nowhere. Unless the God, if they deem it so to be. Nothing is bigger than the energy that controls all. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter how powerful of a master you are. It doesn't matter anything. There's always a boss. You know? And if you don't understand that, then be honest about that. I don't understand what that means. And that's it. And then work towards that. Get me or somebody else, somebody who's real that's going to really show you how that works, that'll guide you. My work, I don't start anybody in the beginning. My starting in the beginning is like right into the master course. You know, right into doing trauma work and going deep into all that stuff quickly. I don't, do any of that other stuff. You know? Like I said, I'm not better than anybody. I have emotions. I have insecurities, I don't care. It's the truth. I'm a human being. But a lot of people want to act, They put turbans on. They dress white. Like, what is that? They talk a certain way. They have these degrees. They have all these things. But who are they inside? Really? Do they know? A lot of them don't. And a lot of them do. And the ones that do are the ones that I see and we talk. Other than that, I don't buy it. Because I know. I already know. Psychedelics? I did ayahuasca. That was the first time I ever did something like that in my life. Because I was completely opposed to doing anything like that. I feel that that's an escape. Even though it did serve me. And I would probably do it again if Spirit deems it to happen again. But one should never start with that. We're already trying to escape. Why can't you just feel your goddamn pain? Just feel it. It's not going to kill you. If I shoot you in the head, you'll die. If I stab you, you'll die. Feeling your pain again is not going to kill you. It never killed anybody. It's not going to kill you. People want to do all these other things to get out of their issues. You're not going to get out of it. Then you get addicted to the psychedelic. You get addicted to the ayahuasca. You get addicted to it because now you have a patch. And then it'll stop working. It won't do anything anymore because now the mind is addicted to it. Then you got to go to something else, That's why I say don't start doing spiritual work with substances. Just get regressed. Start with Kundalini Yoga. It's a good practice. I can feel a lot of people don't like what I'm saying. People come and go. Look at that. I just got very triggered by that lady. She wanted me to go on her show and make music that's bullshit, so that she can look good and keep selling the lies to people. I'm glad I was not accepted to go to that talk show. I'm the antithesis of all that. I'm the spiritual revolution. No bullshit. Why do you make bullshit? And it's not about they do support trauma regression, people and trauma stuff. And then when I connect psychically to it, all they're doing is talking to these people. You know, people don't need to talk. I mean, there's part. They need to be rest. They need energetic regression, pulled out of them emotionally. Stop lying. I've been blocking people that have been doing this garbage. I don't want to deal with that stuff anymore, man. It's just, you know. I don't know. You guys figure it out. This shit isn't easy. Spirituality is not easy at all. I'm gonna end it with this. Spirit told me to end it. Is stop following the trends. Stop using trending words. Stop following and going around listening to all this spiritual work. Not going to get you anywhere. You're going to spend 10 years of your life looking for garbage. Somebody else. Singing bowls are not going to regress you unless it has to. I have yet to see a singing bowl regress anybody. The gong will regress you. That baby right there, I have clothes all over it right now, but that'll regress you. I've used it in regression. Just stop looking for this bullshit. It's not going to do anything for you. You're wasting your money. Time. It's not going to do anything. You're just making other people live out their... I don't even know if there's something to be is a lie. I don't know, but... You know? I just like... There's a lot of cats out there, right? See, I know everything about everybody if I wanted to, because I just ask, you know? There's a lot of guys out there, you know, that I'm a healer, I'm a master Reiki, you know? And then they're not. Come on, bro. I know where you at, son. The funny thing about me is I'm like the hip-hop yogi. You know what I mean? I'm an MC. I write spiritual hip-hop. I used to be a b-boy before I had the injury that I have. And, you know, I'm a unique cat. But at the same time, I'm a good teacher, and I guide people. I teach people how to use life as a regressive interaction in itself. You know, how to use life as a spiritual practice as opposed to sitting down and meditating. How do you do that? It's not easy. I use my job, still do my job, get promoted and do all that stuff, but still make it into a spiritual practice and let it regress me emotionally. How do you do that? The process. Not easy. I had it here. So, you know, I'm a very intense individual. I've always been intense my whole life. And I never understood it until Master Kim, when I met him, told me. And everything changed. And from there, I'm very grateful. And I've met teachers from all walks. They've all said the same thing. So there's a reason they've all said the same thing. If it makes sense the first time, it's not real. If it doesn't make sense, something's there. If it's linear thinking, think happy, be happy. It's not there. You're going to go down a path of, falsehoods. You could gain a lot of riches, you know. There's nothing wrong with money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with money. I want a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with it. Good. It's what you do with it that matters. Do you serve others, or do you serve yourself? So hopefully you guys get an insight on this video. It's pretty long, but God told me to get on and speak about it. You guys should be able to talk to God too. And I'm not talking through your mind or, should raise the vibration. Another thing, I see on these walls, people be like, raise your vibration. But they don't give any explanation on how to do that. Raise your vibration. So I'm going to do it with my mind. I'm going to think about raising my vibration. It's not how it works. Stop saying that. It's misleading. Leading people down that spiritual groupie path again, You only raise your vibration when you do regressive trauma work. You emotionally pull out the trauma that's known or unknown inside of you over and over and over and over again. And only then, after much of that work, can you learn to meditate. Unless you have a good, powerful facilitator that can harness the energy in the room and put you at zero. Before that, you probably can't meditate because the mind has all the traumas and it has control over you. So you try to meditate and the mind is there and all the thoughts. You're not going to meditate. That's why before, in the ancient times, there was initiation processes. And before you even became a meditator, you had to be put through rigorous trauma work and rigorous mind control in yourself. Not mind control like brainwash, but mind control where you control the mind through rigorous trauma work and, releasing trauma energetically out of your body. Only then can somebody meditate after years of that. Unless you have a good facilitator who's powerful and can put you at zero. And even if you do meditate on your own and put you at zero, if you're not releasing the trauma, just go to sleep. It's the same thing. It's not going to do anything. People have this illusion that raising your frequency and expanding your pineal gland and your glandular system, which is good, not saying it, that is what gives you perpetual enlightenment or esoteric consciousness or open awareness or whatever. I'm trying to keep it simple, right? That's not what's going to give you spiritual anything. That's not going to do anything for you. You're just going to sit there thinking about this positive garbage, right? Activating your glandular system, all the chakras and all this stuff, but you still have trauma, right? You're still manipulative, right? You're still security seeking, right? And if you were molested, which is probably one of your traumas or whatever, it's still there. So what is all that going to do for you? Nothing. Nothing. All it's going to do is keep you in another lie. I don't teach lies. I'm straight. I have a lot of spiritual clothing. I barely wear it anymore. I don't even like to dress spiritual when I teach yoga. And the work that I do is very spiritual and very intense. But why? What the hell is that clothes going to do for you or me? Nothing. I'll wear my jeans with a tank top. It's just clothing. There's because I used to be a Sikh. And I used to follow Sikhism. But the guru in India, from the Sikhs, his name is Guru Nanak, and he was a very powerful man. And I channeled him, and I got a lot of insight. And one of the things that he was very adamant about was the yogi is not made by the clothing at all. The spiritual person, the teacher, whatever the hell you want to call it, is not made by the clothing that it wears or she wears or he wears or whatever. That's not what it made. What is this? That's not. Unconscious people judge everything based on how they first see you. That's how they judge you. That you're an animal. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to judge you, but that's not how it is. We're deeper than that. That's why I teach with jeans and a tank top. I have a whole bunch of stuff, Chinese clothing, all this stuff. But all that did at most was alienate people from me. Make people feel like I'm higher than them or whatever. Whether I am or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who the hell am I? I'm just trying to get you where I'm at or higher. Maybe you could teach me something. Who knows? That's what it's about. Be authentic. Be real. Stop being fake. You like somebody, tell them. They like you, they like you. If they don't like, that's it. Stop manipulating people to chase you around because you're special. That's bullshit. Manipulation and wasting people's time. To be real. I don't understand why this is so hard. I do understand. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I understand why it's hard for the mind. And I do. I'm not trying to project. But yeah, spirituality is simple, but hard at the same time. But we overly complicate it because we want to make it fluffy, which makes it hard. Because then you got to live up to all these expectations and talk like everybody else and smile like everybody else. It's all about being real without projection. What does that mean? You feel something from somebody, you see it, and then you project on them the truth, right? You're going to stab them in the chest, Bob. You're not going to really help them. Pull them aside. Be like, look, I don't know if you see this, but this and this and this and that, you know? And if it's really truth, it's going to hit them hard, regardless, you know? It's about being sensitive, you know? Depending. It all depends. Because there's some things that, you know, need to shock you out. It's all very tricky because you need to be shocked out of the mind, but then you got to be sensitive with certain other things, you know? The ability to discern when to act. What do you have to do? When to know when to do. That's what a good teacher is. And just because he's doing something and it makes you uncomfortable, that doesn't mean that that they're doing something wrong. It just means that you can't handle it. That's not the teacher's fault or the teacher's problem. I had a teacher, and he's a master. He's the last master I worked with. That man never looked at me, but he gave me Shaktipat. If you want to look that up, look it up. Many times. He never looked at me. I would sit right next to him, right in front of him. He wouldn't even look at me. That's what I needed. I didn't need somebody to smile in my face and soothe me. That's what I wanted. But that's not what I needed. So the true question is, who of you is ready for something so intense? Are you ready for spiritual work? Or do you want to keep fluffy, you know, walking around with crystals? Like, I don't understand it. I see people with thousands of crystals around their neck. Like, it's, you know, not saying that they don't do anything, but it's excessive, bro. Like, no matter how, it doesn't matter how many crystals you wear. If they're not supposed to be there, they're going to break or fall off eventually. And then you're going to keep fixing the damn thing. And then, you know, when a crystal falls, that's it. You let it go. You could get it the same day, wear it for 2 hours, and breaks. You got to let it go. That's how it works. But that's more important to understand than all the fluffy stuff. All right. Well, I hope you guys got something out of that. I think that's the longest video I ever did. Well, you guys enjoy your Valentine's if you celebrate it. If you don't, enjoy your night. And good night.